Hi guys, welcome back to AFTV. We have a brand new signing in Takehiro Tomiyasu, £18 million signing from Bologna, who we're all very excited to see hopefully this weekend against Norwich. And we need to start picking up the points, and quite frankly, Arteta, all these new signings, stop betting them in, we need to get them in early. And listen, for £18 million, 22 years old, yes, he's a raw player, but hopefully he's a player who can come in and make an instant impact. Now, he's just been away on international duty with Japan. He's a Japan international. Hopefully, he'll get a bit of training time and he can come straight in. But anyway, before we evaluate where he's going to fit, where he's going to contribute, the difference he can make to Arsenal and who exactly he is, let's have a little look at his player profile. So, an £18 million signing from Bologna, a right back, finally a right back. A lot of Arsenal fans, everyone I spoke to going into the window and throughout said, we need a right back. We've been playing Chambers there, we played Maitland-Niles, Cedric, Bellerin, who's now gone on loan to Real Betis. Tomiyasu has finally come in. Now, he was being tracked early in the window by some Premier League clubs. I think those a lot down the road. I think we're looking at him as well. Listen, stats-wise, which we're going to bring up, he scores very highly. You can see why he was in demand. You can see what Arsenal have gone for him. But let's have a look at his general profile first. So as I said, a right back. Is he completely a right back? We're going to go into that. But he is a right back and he has played there a lot for Bologna, and I think that's predominantly where he's going to play for Arsenal. He's 22 years old. He stands at 6'2". As I said, he's a Japan international as well. He's a right-footed player with 98 senior appearances overall, 23 of them coming for the international team. He's just been on international duty at the moment, and now hopefully he's back. We'll get some training sessions under his belt before the big game against Norwich. Now I'm going to reel off some key attributes. Now these aren't necessarily my own. I've had a little dabble in Football Manager, as I always do. I've been reading other people's work on Tomiyasu, hearing what they've been thinking, reading what experts have been saying. I think Romano spoke very highly of him. And I've been looking at sort of some clips and stuff to figure out what kind of are his biggest attributes. Now, this is what people are saying. Stamina, work rate, pace, athleticism, those some of the things are getting. 6'2", very athletic, good recovery type of defender as well. He's not just the kind of flat-footed, he's a very dynamic defender. He's not one who sort of wants to defend in and around and that's it. He's happy to cover ground. That's a good thing because we need dynamism at right back. We've got it at left back in Kieran Tierney. Tomiyasu, superb, ticks the boxes there. Supposedly a very good tackler, very aggressive, good anticipation as well, likes to press. But I think what's really interesting is a lot of people have been praising his passing ability. Now, why have they done that? Hopefully the stats will tell us more. Let's have a look at his general stats for Bologna first though. 64 appearances last season, or not last season, in general for Bologna, with 33 coming last season. Now this is where it gets interesting. As a right back he made 14 appearances according to Transfermarkt. As a centre back he made 17 appearances. So he actually played more as a centre back last year for Bologna than as a right back. Now what's interesting about this is Robbie actually said to him, I remember being at the ground at the Etihad and we were watching the game and we had the back three start and the back three we couldn't believe. And Robbie said, you know what, looking at this, we might even need a new centre-back. Takehiro Tomiyasu might be that centre-back or that profiler defender who can cover two positions at once. I think that's where he could be really important. But we don't want to just be playing makeshift right-backs, we want an actual right-back. Anyway, let's look at some more of his stats for Bologna. Played as a left-back 2 times last season as well, and has scored 3 goals in his whole time playing in Serie A. Now this is where we're going to go into some detail. Forgive me guys, I know stats can sometimes be boring and overkill, but I think some of these are really interesting in terms of learning exactly what kind of defender we're getting here. Now I think the key thing here is he's being compared to other Serie A fullbacks for the 2021 campaign. So last season, playing for Bologna, here's how he ranked against other fullbacks in Serie A. Pass completion, total passing distance, ranking very, very well. Progressive passing distance, that's the big one. Progressive passing distance, getting the ball up the pitch, not just frequently but efficiently as well, is very important. He ranks very highly for that. Medium passes completed, that's medium length, and then long passes as well, he ranks very highly. And this is where it gets really interesting. Passes into the final third, headed passes attempted, which suggests he's, well, I suppose taking it from the air down into the ground quite quickly to his teammates. Good stuff, you're going to want that when you're a high pressing team, the ball comes along, you want to be winning your aerial duels, and we'll talk about that later. Passes received, he ranks highly, passes intercepted and passes blocked. Alright, fantastic, we all love that. Let's go into some others. Percentage of dribblers tackled, again he ranks very, very highly, he's a good one-on-one defender. Dribbled past, very infrequently, he ranks highly for that. Successful pressures, shots blocked, interceptions, successful dribbles, all very good as well, and carrying distance is a big one. Getting the ball and being able to beat the press, because that's the modern game. People are going to come at you, you've got to be able to carry the ball and be a dribbler as well. And then you've got things like ball recoveries, aerial duels, fantastic. So he ranks highly for all those things. Now those are attributes I could see being very, very important to Arteta. We talk about interceptions, I mentioned successful dribbles, that pass completion from a short, medium and distance range. These are all things he's going to want from his defenders. And as I read this, along with the clips I've watched on YouTube and all that, I'm getting a much better picture for what kind of defender we might be getting. And I don't think it's the Kieran Tierney type on the left side. I think it might be something else, but we're going to go into that in a bit. Now listen, we can't just sit here and just wax lyrical about our new signing. There are weaknesses, and I think it's worth going into. Here are some of the things he didn't rank very highly for last season, which perhaps might disrupt the balance in the Arsenal team. Let's look at them here. Assists, he ranked very low. Key passes, he ranked low. Passes into the penalty area, now that's very interesting, including crosses into the penalty area as well. I don't think he's going to be the Kieran Tierney on the right, basically. I think he's going to play a different role. We're going to look at that in a sec. In terms of clearances, he ranks very highly. Listen, that's not a bad thing. It's actually, I think, a good stat, but it makes me wonder, does he have composure on the ball? I'm just putting that out there. Kieran Tierney ranks very highly for clearances and possession lost, actually, for Arsenal, which isn't necessarily a good thing, yet he's still a standout player. Just something to be aware of. And then tackles in the attacking third and tackles in the middle of the third, not the best when it comes to other Serie A fullbacks. So again, not someone who's going to push massively high up the pitch. Okay, let's have a look at the tactical pad now, as we always do with these players. Where is he going to fit into this Arsenal team? Now, I reeled off all those stats there that I got from FB Ref, by the way. Go check it out for any stats you want to have a look at. What's really interesting, one stat really did come out to me. His touches in different areas of the pitch. Now, in the defensive penalty area, he ranked really high for touches, number of touches. In the defensive third, very high. In the middle of third, very high. But then extremely low for the attacking third and the attacking penalty area. Now what that tells me is, again, the areas of the pitch where he's going to have a lot of the ball, where he's going to function, where he's going to fit into Arteta's system. I think Callum Chambers, I'm going to make an early prediction, I think Callum Chambers will start against Norwich, because he's the most like for like we've got when it comes to getting Takehiro Tomiyasu into a system, and Arsenal playing with a system that's going to involve what I think is going to be an inverted fullback. Let's have a look how that might look here on the tactical pad. So I've got it up here. Here's an 11 I expect to see a lot this summer. Tomiyasu's there at right back, wearing the number 18 shirt. Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka as the three behind Aubameyang. Gone for White and Gabriel as the centre backs. Now I think what's really interesting about this, if I just move it along, this is what I imagine the shape is going to look like when players start to drift into the positions that we've seen them doing a lot under Mikel Arteta. If I just hit play here, this is what I think it's going to look like. I think you're going to have Tomiyasu coming inside with White and Gabriel coming, taking a few steps to their left and forming much more of a back three. We've seen this a lot under Mikel Arteta, and I think Tomiyasu fits the bill perfectly with that. I think you're going to have Lokonga as almost playing Xhaka's role, taking it off the defence, getting it forward. We saw Thomas Partey in the friendlies against Chelsea, and didn't play against Tottenham, but in the friendly against Chelsea, and a bit in the other friendlies as well, Rangers, Hibs, drifting off to the left a lot. That was the position that he was moving himself into, linking a lot with Emil Smith Rowe, Kieran Tierney providing the overlap. Odegaard, we know, loves to drift right and get into those positions with Saka, who holds the width, and Aubameyang up front. Now I think what's going to be interesting about this, I'm going to highlight it here, I think these are the areas that Tomiyasu is going to play in a lot. I've highlighted it in red there. I think those are the areas we're going to see him getting a lot of the ball in, almost being a distributor as part of the back three. Now we're going to talk about the back three in a second, but as I've highlighted here, these are the areas I see him getting into a lot. Areas I don't see him getting into a lot, I'm going to highlight here in yellow, in and around the penalty area. Areas that Kieran Tierney's very frequently getting into, trying to break on beyond the defence, trying to get in behind, trying to cause havoc into the penalty area, be a creative outlet for Arsenal. I don't think Tomiyasu is going to be that. Now what does that mean for Arsenal's balance? Well, good and bad. It means that once again we're playing this sort of asymmetrical 4-2-3-1, 3-5-1, 3-6-1, whatever you want to call it. The point is, we're going to have Tomiyasu making part of the back three, which we've seen Callum Chambers doing a lot. Hector Bellerin's been asked to do it and looked a little uncomfortable doing it at times. So I think it's going to be Saka and Tierney who hold the width. Might mean Arsenal a little predictable going down one end, but I think it's also what Arteta wants to do, and he's going to stick at it. And it looks like he might finally have the right back with the athleticism, the pace, the ability on the ball to actually execute that a bit better. maybe with his player, his right player, his own signing in that position, it'll start to look a bit better for us. But if we just clear the board here, or we move this along a little bit, there's another system we might play. Now, I know you want Bukayo Saka to play, but just for the sake of argument, we're going to take him out the 11 here, and we're going to bring in Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And this is where I think the balance does come to Arsenal squad, perhaps a little bit more than we've seen for a while. So here we go. Tomiyasu could play as one of the back three. As I said, he made 17 appearances as a centre-back for Bologna last year. He could come in as the right centre-back. Ben White, who wants to get forward, wants to intercept, wants to come into midfield, wants to play, will suit that centre-back role, that centre of the back three, a lot more than perhaps any other option we got there. We saw Rob Holding playing it against City. Didn't necessarily look comfortable, though City are a very good side, of course. And then Gabriel could naturally play towards the left, as can Pablo Mari when he comes in. Now that's really interesting because Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who was basically told he wasn't going to leave at the end of the window, there's now a natural role for him as a right wing back, Kieran Tierney on the other side, and then Odegaard Smith-Rowe with Aubameyang. It's going to be interesting. As I mentioned, balance. He's not going to be the Kieran Tierney on the right, but he might be that perfect right back who does the role that Arteta's been asking his right backs to do at the moment. And Cedric, Chambers, Maitland-Niles, Bella, and the reality is none of them have really taken it by the scruff of the neck and made it their own. So yeah, let's see. He could be the right man for that system. Alright guys, you've seen the stats, we've gone through them. Some very encouraging ones there, some that absolutely fit the modern fullback, or at least the kind of fullback we think Arteta's going to want. We've seen the positions that Callum Chambers, Bellerin have taken up. Tomiyasu might be much more of a natural in that role, so let's have a look. What have we said? Supposedly a great work rate, supposedly very athletic and good on the ball with a good passing range. Might be the guy who gets us from back to front a lot more quickly, helps us build out the back. Let's see, we've had a look at the tactical pad as well. As I said, a back three could be on the cards for Arteta, a lot more than it perhaps has been, let's say, for most of the season so far, although we're only 3 games in. But yeah, I think he's going to be a right back. I think we're going to stick to a back four, and I think he's going to allow Arteta to play out the back the way he's been wanting to. He's got 4 of his back 5 now, if you include the goalkeeper, with Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu and Ramsdale in. Listen, no excuses anymore. That defence has got to start fixing up, or we've got to start playing out the back properly. Let's hope Tomiyasu is the missing piece. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Takehiro, Tomiyasu, welcome to Arsenal. Really look forward. Hopefully we'll see you against Norwich on Saturday.